Hello, my friends, everyone. Okay, guys. So it's been so long. It has been a long time since I've been on here. But I had to come by and just kind of talk to you guys and tell you guys about my journey and give you guys an update and say I'm alive and well. um, I just wanted us to have a talk now that I've been so busy, guys. You have no idea. This thing that's going on around us has not been good to nurses. Uh, we nurses have been so overwhelmed, and I wanted to seriously give you guys a good picture of my experiences as working during this situation, this worldwide situation. And I wanted to talk about my experiences and just be open and honest with everything that's been going on because it's been a lot. So this recording, and I'm also going to upload it on our podcast, right? So that you guys can kind of go back to it. And I want you guys to really share our experiences because I feel like a lot more of us nurses have to get out there and talk about everything we are experiencing. And mind you guys, this is for you, obviously, because I'm giving you an update and talking about everything that's going on. But at the same time, this is for me because I need a place to vent. And when I started this YouTube thing, it wasn't for business, it wasn't for money. It was because I needed a place to vent my frustrations, vent my feelings, connect with nurses, you know? So we all understand what's going on in the world. And we all know and see that it has put pauses, it has put breaks. It has put this situation, worldwide situation, has put brakes on dreams, ambitions, lives, right? Families have been affected. People have lost their businesses, you know? People have lost their livelihoods, their life, okay? Not just here where I am in the United States, obviously, but on the continent as well. Brakes have been put. And it's so frustrating because I feel as though nurses, no one gives a hoot about us nurses because they can get rid of us anytime, right? They can get rid of us. Where do I begin? We're going to talk about everything. I'm not going to mention any names of where I've been working. I've been working at a lot of different places. Some of you know I do registry, okay? I pick up work different places here and there, but I've been helping out a lot more now. I wanted to go back to work full time so that I can make a difference, right? So just a background, yeah, I've been working full time, while at the same time I started back school again. It's a new semester, guys. You guys know I'm getting my doctorate. So woo woo, 2022 is coming up, graduation date. I will be Dr. Monticello. So excited. So it's very busy. And at the same time, you know, we nurses, we have families. I have my husband, I have my parents, I have my child, you know, and also a business that is just, I'm trying to promote and take off the ground, which COVID has just put on lockdown. But that's okay. That's okay because we're still moving forward. So, but I'm here to talk about, COVID/-19, right? So what's been going on? It has been an overwhelming experience because as a nurse, I have been thrown into very difficult situations. Let's just start with my patients. We're going to talk about different just situations. I'm going to start with my patients. I have experienced situations where I have seen patients completely destroyed by this thing out there, this thing that a lot of people claim is fake. And to be honest, when all of this first started, I thought, wow, could this be like a real thing? What is this thing, you know? But once I started working in this thing, I don't care what it is. I don't care what its name is. This thing that is out there is killing and destroying people. It is not fake. It is real. And when you're working with it, you know it. I've seen patients die. I can't tell you how many of my patients have died. I work where I take care of an older population. And this population is exposed to this thing that is out there. And because of the comorbidities that they have, because of the age, right? All of those factors, their health, status, where they are vulnerable to this thing that is out there. And when this population that I'm working in, when they get this thing, it completely destroys them. It takes over the body. It destroys and it acts quickly. I've seen a patient talking, breathing, vital signs normal. Within a couple of hours, oxygen saturation dropping, blood pressure dropping. And by the time that it's time for those patients, okay, to get the help that they need, they're dead. Dead. This thing is dangerous. It is killing people. I, as a nurse, am exposed to that. When I go to work every day, I put my life at risk. Hundreds of thousands, millions of healthcare professionals, people that work in the hospitals, we put our lives on the risk for these patients. Nobody gives a hoot. The media wants to make it a show. Oh, we thank our nurses, right? Nobody gives a hoot. You know what we want as healthcare professionals? We don't care about the respect. We don't care about airplanes flying over hospitals. We don't care about people clapping hands for what we do. But what we do care about is PPE, is being protected, is having the masks that we need, having the face shields that we need, the hairnets that we need, the gowns that we need, having the proper protection, being tested so that we make sure that if we test positive, we don't infect each other as healthcare workers, and we don't go ahead and infect our patients. That's what we need. And guess what? As nurses, we don't have that. Screw the respect. Screw the media talking about, oh, we love our nurses. Turn on the light, my kid. We love our nurses. They're so wonderful. Who cares? We, as healthcare professionals, want to live, right? Let me tell you what these companies are doing, and I'm not really mentioning any names. I have to be careful because I work, right, and I have a reputation. Sometimes I'm not even given an N95. Sometimes it's a surgical mask. It's not an N95. Face shield, depending on where you're working, depending on where I'm working, I don't even get that. Hairnet, what's that? Gowns, flimsy gowns. What? Some of these gowns, what the hell is that going to do? Cheap gowns? What are they going to protect me with? My back is exposed. My neck is exposed. The bottom of your feet are exposed. Boots, you don't get that. One N95 for a whole shift. You expose yourself in that room to somebody who's coughing in your face on that mask. You come out and then you go and you work with that mask. It's not easy not to touch your face. Some people say, oh, don't touch your face, don't touch the mask, don't touch the whatever. You have one face shield for the whole shift. You have one mask for the whole shift. Do you think I'm not going to touch this? Unreasonable expectations. Don't tell me I can't touch my face. Instead, we need the proper protection. I should be able to wear my N95 in the room, come out and throw that thing in the trash. Throw it in the trash before I exit that room and get another one. That's what I need. But screw it. Because while people are making billions off of this pandemic, healthcare workers, including nurses, doctors, are stuck exposed to this thing. It is only by the grace of God that some of us nurses have not gotten it, that some of us who have gotten it have survived it. Thank goodness, you know, the majority of nurses that I know that have had it, and it is a lot, they survive it and they're fine. They say they have, you know, minimal symptoms. But of course, how about the few or however many there are that have severe symptoms or that die from it? Because there have been nurses and doctors who have died from this thing. Excuse my rant, but it is what it is. The public doesn't care. The media doesn't care. The big CEOs do not care. As long as they make their profit, put money in their pockets at the expense of the healthcare workers. We nurses have to suffer that. I'm done with that. I'm done with that rant because I could go on all night. Now to talk about the patients. I mean the family members of the patients. Calling, and if they're listening, your loved ones are there. Do you think it's okay for you as family members to call and yell at nurses for something they have no control over? Calling and yelling, ill-treating the people that are taking care of your loved ones? I say this because this is happening. Do you know how many times, you know, nurses are being yelled at on the phone by family members because they have no control over coming in? So they want to yell, shout, scream at the very people that are risking their lives to take care of their loved ones who are in the hospital. Complete disrespect. I'm putting my life on the line to save your loved one, yet you have the audacity to call, yell, throw tantrums on the phone over something that I probably can't even help, something that I cannot even do for you. Does it matter that these nurses are taking care of these loved ones? No, these family members are downright disrespectful because they don't understand that these nurses are overworked. 12, 16-hour shifts or more, coming back to back. I've talked to nurses that have worked 2 weeks straight because of shortages in various places. So, but who cares about that? Because we are little slaves.
Let me sleep over here.
Yeah, you could sleep there. Go ahead. We're little slaves, and we don't matter. As long as we're clocking in, clocking out, we're the slave for the 12-hour shift or for the 8-hour shift. Nobody gives a hoot about the nurses. So I say to you, if there are family members that are listening to this, if your loved one is in the hospital, have patience. Think about how these nurses are exposed, but how they still come to work to take care of the very people that you love. Think before you start yelling on the phone because Nurse Judy didn't give patient Gonzalez or Robinson the phone so that you can FaceTime. She forgot to let you FaceTime because she was so overwhelmed taking care of sick patients that are dying. So you now want to file a complaint? It's stupid. That's my rant. That is my rant. That's one aspect. The other aspect of working during a pandemic is that I've had to block my phone numerous times. I've had to block calls numerous times. Why? Because my phone, I am inundated with all kinds of phone calls from all kinds of people, agencies, hospitals, looking for nurses. It's like almost harassment. You know, you get like 5, 6, 7 calls a day. Come to work, come to work, come to work. It's like, oh my gosh, like I'm tired. I need to rest. And then you feel guilty, you know, as a nurse because it's like, no, you're tired, you're exhausted, you're overwhelmed. You don't want to go to work. It sucks. It really does. And then if you as a healthcare professional, if you want to refuse a patient because that patient has this thing, you looked at like you're the villain. I'm not a villain. I'm not getting paid extra. Am I? And you're not giving me the proper protection. So, but you're looked at as a villain. You need to take this patient because it is your job. You are a nurse or whatever you are, a CNA or a physician. You have no choice. You made an oath to put your life in danger so that your kids can become orphans, your wife or husband, they can become widows. You made an oath. You're a nurse. So it's okay because you're a nurse, you're a CNA, you're a doctor. It is okay for your family to not have a father or a mother. It's okay for you to die. No, nurses should be able to refuse patients that they don't want to take care of. They should be able to refuse. I absolutely agree. That's my take on it. That's what I believe. But for the sake of, I guess, working, I'll go with the policy. There are some places where you work where they will tell you you can refuse based on, you know, your health status and things like that, which is great. You can refuse and say no. But there's some places where they're like, you don't have a choice. We'll fire you, so go work somewhere else. And you have to make that decision for yourself. This is the type of CRAP that healthcare professionals have to deal with. Now, after being exposed for 12, 15, 16 hours to this thing, right? Coughed on and touched and inhaling this thing all day. Then you have to go home and be a parent, be a wife, be a husband. Feel guilty for touching your loved ones, hugging your child, because, dude, you could be, you could have it. You could have this thing, and then you could infect your loved ones with it. Guys, this thing is serious. It's really not a joke. And then the last thing that I will talk about is the testing, which is absolute torture half the time. the one that's in the throat is much better than having the nasal swab. It's like torture, depending on who's going through your nose. I mean, one day I was in so much pain when someone tried to do the test that I almost hit him. It's painful. And now you're being tested every 2 weeks or once a week. Right now I'm getting tested once a week. The camera's going blurry. Let me see if I can fix it. I love when it does that. Get blurry. But that's the story for the day. So that has been my experience. That has been the experience of many healthcare professionals during this time. And does anybody care? I wonder, but I don't think so. Who cares? Who is standing up for nurses? Who is making sure that we get the proper PPE? I don't know, because it's not happening right now. So with that, I say that has been my experience. And that has been the experience of a lot of nurses out there. And with the camera being blurry like this, guys, I guess it's time for this conversation to end. And as usual, I will see you next time.